WOMA is a membership organization, and basically is for the manufacturers in this country, with more than 1,500 members registered with it. And as GMA, our core mandate is to advocate for a conducive working environment for the manufacturers in this country. As manufacturers in this country, there are areas of competence that we have, and we would have wished not to import all that we can manufacture in this country. The only limitation that we could be having is in some areas we may not be having the raw materials within the country. But for the items that we have the raw materials, we would have wished to see all those ones, those products produced within Uganda. Yeah, and that's why and when we shall be able to talk about buy Uganda, build Uganda. There are a number of things that we need to look at, and I think that's what causes even the mindset amongst our peoples who would be the consumers. One thing is quality, which quality we are trying to work hand in hand with Uganda National Bureau of Standards to make sure that the kind of products, the kind of goods that our members put on the market are of standard, and not only standard for Uganda, but a standard for even regional, Africa, and global market. You see, the whole world is becoming just a global village. So whenever you are producing, look at a wider market. So we are making sure that that is one of the issues, to make sure that our members have the right quality, to make sure that our people can access the raw materials that they require. I'll give you another example. Uganda has one of the best iron ore. So when you come to producing steel and steel products, I think all we need is to get capitalized such that we are able to mine this iron ore and also be very competitive in producing it within this country. To that effect, we need to see how best we can smelt this iron ore. Of course, working with our neighbors, because there are certain ingredients that we may not be having, like a coal, but working with our neighbors, we should be able to get this, and we should be able to supply as a market the whole of East Africa, Africa, and otherwise with the steel that comes from Uganda. Like I've told you, our core mandate as Manufacturers Association, we need to make sure that the manufacturers are working in a conducive working environment, more especially after the COVID pandemic, which really affected, it really impacted on the manufacturers and the small ones at that to a very great extent. No sooner our members were trying to settle in, again there was the Ukraine-Russian war, which has also really affected our members. How we are trying to assist them is to continue with the advocacy, to make sure that at least they have some conducive working environment, and also government to make sure that they give some considerations in some aspects where members, and especially because you find that a good number of these members would like to be capitalized. so many of them were affected. We are still lobbying government and of course to see how UDB can be able to assist these members of ours. Well, the challenges as manufacturers, like I've said, we are yet to be there about electricity, which we are still advocating for, such that it becomes competitive. There are things like road infrastructure, especially in industrial areas. A good number of the industrial areas are having very poor industrial roads within their areas. There are areas of expensive transport from, you see, Uganda is landlocked, but lucky that we are land-linked. We need the railway from Mombasa to bring in goods for members because railway is much cheaper than road, which we are using currently. Yeah, and then of course, an easy way of accessing raw materials. We would need the government to come in, especially, you see, we are an agro-processing country, and a good number of our industries are agro-processing. We need the government also to help out on our farmers such that they can produce the raw materials that our people can use in order to develop that value chain, right from the gardens up to industry and up to the last consumer. Our projection, because through our matrix and through gathering ideas from our members, we've already made our matrix, which we've submitted to government, Ministry of Finance, to look through, and we are hoping for the best. We are quite optimistic because given experience, government has always given us a good percentage of the priorities such that we can see how we can develop industry in this country.